Hey, welcome back everyone. It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. So, as you all know, ever since I got my MetaQuest 3, I've been using it, testing a variety of different games, applications, different mods, right? And Flight Simulator, of course, it's one of them. X-Plane was one of them. Many other, applications. However, I always wanted to test a PMDG 737 600. I didn't realize that I actually bought this plane a couple of years ago, 2022, early 2022. And I was like, well, since I already have 737 600, which is a shorter version of 737 800, I was like, why not give it a try on a virtual reality mode? And that's what I'm going to do here. I'll tell you how I feel about it, what it looks like. Keep in mind, you can't experience what I'm experiencing because I am in VR. You're looking at like a 2D, basically. You're looking at a television or a tablet or a phone or laptop, right? Whatever device you're using. So you can't really experience what I'm experiencing. So that's what I'm going to try to do, to tell you how it runs, how it feels to be in a 737 in VR, PMDG 737 in VR. So this is for those of you who have special interest for this. I know this is not going to reach out to a lot of people. This is a special interest. Virtual reality, it's a special interest. And of course, flight simulation, it's special interest. Especially for those of you who love flight simulators and you are thinking about maybe getting a VR headset for it. So that's for whom this video really is for. Alright, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's do this, shall we? I'm in Palm Beach International. This is 737-600. We're going to go ahead and take off. I got my altitude set to 20,000. You can use a MetaQuest controller to adjust all of this. That's a cool thing, that you can use this to adjust your instruments on the console in your cockpit, and I like that. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put this over here for now. All right, I'm gonna put it right over there. And I mean, you don't necessarily have to use the controller. You can use a mouse and do it with a mouse. You can still do that. You can use a mouse, but I prefer, to use the controller. It just makes it more realistic. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take off, shall we? You see, you can use the mouse. There's my mouse right there. You can see it. Hold on. Let me just adjust a couple of things here. Just give me a second. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Alright. Because I need to be in a full screen for you guys so you can see this. Alright, so as you can see right here, you can use the mouse. You can adjust your your course, your heading. You can adjust the altitude. You can go ahead and use the flight module console, FMS. You know, you can type on it and type in all the details. You can adjust the brightness. You can adjust everything, dude. Everything's adjustable. Even your radio frequency can be adjusted. All of that. So, and you also have a tablet here that you can use. That it's also interactive. You can import the weather, which I already did right here. So, pretty cool, man. This is PMDG, man. Like, you know, we're flying with a top-of-the-line, most accurate 737 version of this airplane. And we're in VR. You know, it doesn't get any better than this. So we're going to go ahead and take off. Here we go. And off we go, ladies and gentlemen. Just ignore that sound. Flaps up. Gears up. Flaps up. It's rainy in Palm Beach International right now, so that's why I see a lot of clouds. So how does it feel like? Well, it feels like you're really inside this 737-600. And it does feel a bit claustrophobic, I have to say. Because this is a smaller version of 737. A lot of turbulence here. I don't want to stall. It's the last thing I want to do right now. I just want to climb the altitude, and once I get that altitude, my altimeter and everything should be all set.
Palm Beach approach, United 736. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace. United 736 Palm Beach approach. Cleared through the Charlie airspace.
Here we go.
Cleared through Charlie airspace, United 736. Generic 1 Romeo Alpha contact Miami Center on 132.15.
That's much better. Now we're climbing that altitude.
United 736, have the traffic. 132.15, generic 1 Romeo Alpha. Goodbye.
Come on, come on. The weather, it's really not that great currently in Palm Beach International. Look, I'll say this. even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with you playing your flight simulator on a big OLED screen, it's immersive as well. You know, it's detailed. It's much better clarity. You see much better detail, sure. But however, when you put on a VR headset, you can't really help yourself but just feel that you are inside this cockpit. And that's something that your television cannot bring to you. Your television, sure, gives you great detail, great clarity, great graphics. Everything stands out perfectly, you know, in nice detail. However, the one essential experience you cannot get is that experience of feeling like you are inside a cockpit. And that's really essentially what you get with a virtual reality headset. Oculus Quest, Meta Quest 3, it's a perfect way for you to get into VR. I guess the whole message that I'm trying to send here is for those of you who are flight simulators, and I think in the future, whoever finds this video, whenever you find this video, most likely you are a flight simulator enthusiast, right? You like flight simulator and that's all you play. And so my message to you guys is, yes, I understand triple monitors, quadruple monitors, ultra widescreen projectors, all of that, it's great. It's all great experience. And I have tried it. I have tried all of that. But until you actually try the VR, you really don't know how great this is, okay? And again, nothing against using triple screens, ultra widescreen monitors, all of that's great. But when you put the VR headset on, you get transported immediately inside this cockpit. And well, isn't that the whole idea of a flight simulator, right? To be inside a cockpit. I mean, let's just be honest here. And like I said, it's all fine and dandy. You building your setup, you got your triple screens, you got your ultra widescreen monitors, you got your Tobii eye tracker. That's all great. Absolutely. But isn't the whole idea of you to be inside a cockpit, to adjust all the instruments, to be inside this airplane? And with a VR headset, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that immersive experience, and to me, it doesn't get any better than that. Now, some people, they cannot handle the VR. There's that too. Some people, they just can't handle it. And of course, there's nothing you can do about that. If you can't handle the VR, then you are pretty much, you know, out of luck with that. And, you know, triple screen monitors, ultra widescreen monitors, that's fine. You know, that's the only choice you can get. But if you can handle this, if you can handle VR and wear these goggles, you know, I spoke to some pilots during COVID-19, because a lot of pilots, you know, were laid off and they were at home and they were playing a lot of flight simulator. And luckily, Microsoft Flight Simulator came in just in right time during COVID-19. And I have talked to some of the pilots, commercial, professional pilots, and they all tell me that they all prefer to use the VR headset, even though, you know, having those extra screens triple monitors, ultra wide screens. It's all great. But they all prefer really to have the VR headset, because VR headset reminds them of, hey, here I am. I'm in a cockpit. I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm at work. I feel like here I am flying again, you know. And VR is going to do that for you guys. And I'm strictly talking to those of you who have not tried the VR. I'm not like referring this to those of you who have already VR and who have tried it.
Goodbye. Miami Center, United 7369,000.
This is really me speaking to those of you who never tried it, and you happen to be a flight simulator enthusiast, right? And you want to get into VR. Well, for a flight simulator, I can't think of a better reason to buy a VR headset than for flight simulator. I mean, it's almost like the VR headset, it's designed for a flight simulator. It really is, man. So what's the one message you can take away from this video? And the message is simple. If you love flight simulator and you are a flight simulator enthusiast, and again, there's absolutely, I have nothing against triple monitors, ultra wide screens. That's amazing too. That's awesome. That's going to be an awesome experience too. But if you really want to dive into a realism, into that realistic approach, you got to get yourself a VR headset, because I don't know how much more real can you get. How much more real can you get than being inside a cockpit, right? And operating the plane while you are inside a cockpit. I mean, I don't know how much more real does it get than that, you know. To me, that's as real as it gets, right? To look out the window like this, and as you're flying, I mean,
Cleared through Charlie airspace, United 736.
so this looks great. And here I am with a PMDG 737, man. And it looks amazing, you know.
125.2 United 736. Goodbye.
It's great.
United 736, 2,100 feet.
The amount of detail that I see here, guys, I mean, it's just remarkable. The rudders left and right, the bolts and screws down on the metal plate, the consoles, all the buttons are exactly as they should be, replicated perfectly. You know, the radio, it's right there next to me. APU switches, all of that stuff, it's all here. The battery, right? Taxi lights, all that. Fuel pumps, generator. You know, we got the wipers over here, and here's the thing: everything's accessible. You know, that's the thing. Everything's accessible. I can go ahead and use the wipers right now. There we go. If I want to, I can adjust the speed of the Vipers. You can do the same thing on the other one, you know. You can adjust the whole thing, man, everything. There's Palm Beach International. No, it is Palm Beach International. mean, look how good that is, bro. To see the airplanes down there below me. I'm really trying to do my best here to explain to some of you who never tried VR what it feels like, and you know, I'm not trying to repeat myself intentionally. I'm just like trying to describe to you how realistic this is. And I'm not even a pilot, but I have spoke to pilots who have tried the VR, and they told me that, yeah, it feels like the real thing. Now, some of these pilots that I spoke to, they were using like a very high-end PC, very high-end headsets, like a Pimax, right? 8K Pimax. They were using a HP Reverb G2. They were using a very high-end, high-resolution headset. So the detail, as you can imagine, was just like ridiculous. And sure, it made them feel like they were back on the airplane, like they were back to work and they were flying. They were in the COVID, COVID-19. So I'm not even a pilot, but I can see how this is the best way to enjoy Flight Simulator, especially if you got the whole setup. If you got the BOEING yoke, if you got the quadrants, if you got everything button mapped. Oh, dude, you're gonna feel right at home, man. You're gonna feel right at home. I mean, I don't know how much more realistic does it get than that. Unless you want to build a cockpit, but that's gonna cost you $20,000, right? Who's gonna pay $20,000 to build a cockpit? Well, I mean, if you got money, yeah, but $20,000, it's out of reach, and like majority of people out there. But yeah, that would be like the only alternative if you were to like spend $20,000 and build a real life-size cockpit with all the instruments and everything, hydraulics, the screen, hydraulics meaning moving you up and down as you are flying, so you can feel the G's. But let's be honest, not everyone's super rich, not everyone has that kind of money to do so. So this is like a really good alternative. Oculus Quest, it's not super expensive. You don't have to buy Oculus Quest 3. You can buy Oculus Quest 2 for like $250. And honestly, the Quest 2 for $250 is, dude, that is the best VR headset for the price, honestly. And it's really affordable. It's a good way for you to get started. I would recommend Quest 2. It's a really good way for you to get your feet wet, to get started. And I guarantee you, you are going to be enjoying this 100%. Let's see if I can land. Let's see if I can land. Let's see how successfully I can land. All right, let's see that. There's Palm Beach International right there. There's Palm Beach International. Let's see if we can make this landing. Come on, come on, come on.
Sync rate. JetBlue 854, contact Miami Center on 132.15. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Generic 286 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Going to 132.15. JetBlue 854.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on. It wasn't the perfect landing, but it was still good. It was still good. Even for an amateur like myself, you know, here I am. And why did I land, you know, without crashing? Well, you know, when you are inside a cockpit, you get better visuals. You know, this is what I try to tell people. Is sometimes when you are playing this simulator on a television, even on a big screen, it's not the same, dude. Yes, you can see the airport, but sometimes you have to do this. You have to zoom in with the mouse to see. But when you are inside a cockpit, like I can see exactly the distance between the runway and this airplane, so it just makes it more realistic. So in closing, here's what I'm trying to say, guys. Virtual reality is the best way to experience flight simulations. If you're somebody who is into flight simulations, you got the whole setup, the whole equipment and everything, VR, it's your next thing you should definitely look forward to buy, because the VR is going to put you right inside the cockpit, and that's where you want to be, correct? You know, I mean, isn't that the whole idea, to be inside the cockpit to operate the plane? That's the whole idea, because that's essentially what you're going to be doing if you ever become a commercial pilot, right? That's essentially where you're going to be, in here with your co-pilot, right? So and what better way to get familiarized with where everything is, to get a sense of like the space of where the instruments are, so when you finally jump into the real 737, you're gonna know exactly where everything is. It's just gonna be much easier for you to get into your training, to pass the tests and all that stuff. So yeah, virtual reality, man, it's 100%. There's no question about that. But again, I'll leave the video by saying this: not everybody can wear a headset. Some people they get motion sick, so they can't handle it, and I understand that. There's absolutely nothing wrong. What I want to say before I go, there's absolutely nothing wrong with triple screens, quadruple screens, ultra wide screens. You're still gonna be immersive. There's no question about that. It's gonna give you a great experience. But this is that final frontier. This is where you want to be. The VR, dude. That's where you truly feel like, hey, I'm really inside this airplane. I'm really inside a cockpit. Here I am flying. So, highly recommend this. Highly recommend VR for flight simulator, man. Easily recommended. Easily recommended. Alright guys, well thank you for watching this video. I hope the video wasn't too long. Hopefully I wasn't repeating myself too much. I'm just trying to come across a point. That's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.